Now, the source might be important on this one, but it says 1 in 10 agency relationships actually deliver on the promised return on investment. Like 10%.
Really? But that's still a very scary number. That's your
Yeah.
expectation? That's like
Yeah.
very
I mean, that's putting the
unfortunate.
bar really low, I guess. Which is somewhat surprising that it's that bad.
Cheers, mix, click, and code with Boozy Browsing, sipping and fixing the web one cocktail at a time.
Right.
I am recycling some of the drinks that I have
Nice.
stacked. I think I mentioned this before last time, so I didn't drink it. So Andygator, I'm gonna try.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember you saying that one. Yep.
Yeah, as part of Abita, which is a New Orleans beer, I think, and it's 8%. So we'll see. Yeah, taking a break from the wine. Actually, I ran out. I didn't run out to get it. So
We have a whole cabinet of wine because so it's graduation season, high school
oh
graduation. So
right,
we have family in town. So
right.
it's stock up on alcohol. More people are coming. So, but I'm not doing wine. I'll do mine first. So I'm still doing I think this is my third or fourth out of the pack of 5 and
Oh, I've seen that
so
one
it's
before.
Breckenridge. I haven't done it though. So it's Palisade Peach, the Palisades Colorado thing. I didn't catch the wheat. That'll be interesting. But it's so we might hit 90 today. It's upper 80s,
I
kind of a
already
hot
hit
day.
90s
But
already.
luckily,
Well,
it's not like going to be that way for a while. So like my space is nice and cool without air conditioning so far. But because we're going to be 40s in a couple of days,
oh,
hot
really?
as a high. Like it's maybe snow on Monday.
In May?
Yeah. We had like 7 or 8 inches last week. Yeah. I mean, it is late, but it's not like abnormal for us to get a snowstorm. But yeah, so
Sure.
Breckenridge Brewing.
Now you're just drinking out
Oh,
of
you
your.
already poured yours into a glass. Good job. I'm doing a can. That looks like a dark beer.
It's not. It's just because it's a purple glass.
Mmm. Yeah. This is tasty.
Yeah, I like this one. Not bad. I generally like Abita beers.
This will be a good summer. It's almost like um, I'm blanking on you put an orange peel on it. Blue Moon is what I was thinking. It
Yeah.
tastes like a Blue Moon, I think.
I don't like. I don't really like Blue Moon.
It's for a hot summer day. It's not
Mm-hmm.
really hot, but still. I'm getting into the season early. It's no longer fall or winter, rather. I mean, we only had fall in Colorado. Like we never really got winter until spring, and now we're getting winter. So
Cheers, mix, click, and code with Boozy Browsing, sipping and fixing the web one cocktail at a time.
Mm. All right. Well, so today's topic is a little bit. We wanted to kind of break from all this pain points of outdoor stuff, but something I think it's relevant for a lot of companies if you are using agencies or consulting companies or development agencies like us. So, what a bad agency relationship actually costs your outdoor brands or any brands, and how to know you're in one. It's probably very obvious, but we can also talk about the patterns that we've seen because we work with a lot of clients who came out of bad agency relationships. And we also use agencies before, work with agencies
yeah,
before, and we
I was
see
going to
the
say
pattern.
we've had our own when we've used some marketing agencies for our work
Yeah,
for our company.
it's a
Yeah,
very, very common issues. And then they also apply to how like different types of agencies should operate. It's not just like it doesn't matter what type of agencies you are.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I think some of our lessons learned, and we have some notes around this, but like we got a lot better towards the last couple of years. Like the ones that we've worked with the last couple of years done really good because I think like we knew what we needed from them, regardless of if they were good or not. And I think they were good, but the earlier ones, like I think we would have been able to like bail real early based on some of the things we'll talk about.
Right.
Um, versus kind of stringing along, paying month to month, not only wasting dollars on the invoice payments, but also wasting money on just time. Like time is money in a business. And if you're working with someone that's not getting you new business and you're paying them to do that, then you're missing out on the opportunity.
Yeah. And also it's not just the time too, but like if you prolong working with the wrong agencies that doesn't understand you, that's like switching a gear out of it also takes some time sometimes because you already develop whatever patterns you have working with that agency, even though they don't match you. So you need
Yeah.
to break out of that, and now your brand consistency is kind of like disconnected.
Yeah. It's like it's a harm, like a detrimental harm if you're,
Mm.
it's not just that they're not like, maybe they're, like, if they're just not doing work, that's one thing. But if they're doing bad work,
Mhm.
on your behalf, in any respect, whether it's a marketing agency, a design agency, even a technical agency, like if they're doing bad work and breaking things or breaking your kind of reputation,
Mhm.
that's long running. It's not the invoice. It's not like just it's not something you can be paid back easily either because you're gonna have to build back um, over probably longer than the relationship had been in the first place.
Yeah, because like they're supposed to be extending your reputation, like your
Mhm.
extension of you. And if they're giving you weird things, and then now your reputation is damaged, your brand image is damaged, and damaged brand images are harder to recover, which is very unfortunate.
Now, the source might be important on this one, but it says 1 in 10 agency relationships actually deliver on the promised return on investment, like 10%.
Really?
Source is HubSpot agency benchmark, so maybe it's the type of agencies that build on HubSpot. I don't know. I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but I guess I kind of did.
But
Um,
that's still a very scary number. That's your
yeah,
expectation. That's like
yeah. I
very
mean, that's putting the
unfortunate.
bar really low, I guess, which is somewhat surprising that it's that bad.
Yeah.
Again, I think, well, part of it is an ecosystem of supply and demand, not as much, so much demand and not enough agencies out there. So they're able to basically push agencies that can't return or do a return on investment on the expected kind of what people want from the engagement.
I actually like this number because I try to explain this to a lot of people when we're working together with different teams or different departments, like with designers or UX team or and other teams, how much scope creep can multiply the initial expected development cost 4 times. And they always overlook it. And I always have to explain when they try to squeeze in some weird scope creep or like design changes that are not approved anymore and try to change anything on the fly. And I was like, just consider this will delay by X amount of time. And I'm happy that to see that it's actually 4 times than initial estimates.
Yeah, I think that the other problem here is that, like, depending on how it's done, like, there's always change requests. But if the change request is just done to a developer, like if the team's small and it's a single developer kind of working on the tasks, they're like, "Oh yeah, I can do that. I can do that change real quick. Like I'll do it today." Like that's the like, typical response. But that doesn't like that's not taking into account that that one person didn't get approval.
Mhm.
They didn't think through all of the repercussions of what that one change would do. Maybe it's just one page, but it now changes the language on all the other pages.
Yeah. Not only
And
that, I actually had this when this one developer didn't even actually, it was more, he changed something on, I think it was on the API that was being used for all the other parts.
right,
So like it changed. He just changed it on the fly. And now everyone who had some integration with that now had to change all the code. And they were actually in the actual process and they have a separate QA team. They have a separate regression testing team and UAT. So all of them had to change all their work. So
yeah,
even though the actual change for him was maybe like an hour fix, the rest of the people who are affected was hours of work that they had to recommunicate, and they thought it was broken, so they reopened all the tickets, and now they have to redo everything. So there's also that. So like that's why it is bigger impact than what you think on a little
Mhm.
change request like that. Any other number that's kind of interesting to bring up?
I think these are the ones that caught my ear were kind of the first stats around. There's 40% of clients that are planning on switching agencies partners in the next 6 months, and that was a survey done last year.
Hmm.
I think that should allow you to realize that you're not the only one thinking of switching. There are other people doing the same thing. However, there's a significant cost in switching,
Yes.
which we can talk about. I mean, it's just like we already kind of briefly talked about the cost of staying in this bad relationship,
Hmm.
right? It's costing you every day. Maybe there's different reasons of staying in the relationship. Maybe you're contractual, but also just that you can't really put your finger on why it feels bad.
Hmm.
But then if you get to that point and you know it is bad, then breaking up, it takes a financial cost potentially to
Right.
break a contract. But then you have to also find a new agency, and
Right.
that's a cost. That's time invested in doing that research, that search, that all those interviews, and taking kind of a chance on another agency again. Especially now that if you've been, I would say, burned in one aspect, or just maybe you just didn't like the relationship with people, whatever. Either way, you're now going to be thinking of it in a different way and probably spending even more time the next one. So you're going to spend more internal resources, resourcing time.
Yeah. And once you find someone that you want to work with, you also have to consider the workload changes. So your internal team might be familiar with whoever your previous agency's workflow was. So even like a small changes, now you have to relearn that. And like even though it might be more efficient, you still have to have that training point to make sure everyone in the team understands this is a new process going forward. So that is also time of everyone, which
Yeah,
also is a cost.
yeah, and that I was going to say the breakup cost, also that middle one. Um, I think one of the reasons why this topic came up for us is that we've onboarded two partners, two clients earlier this year with another partner actually, that they were leaving another agency. And I don't think in 20 something years of just being an agency type work that I've ever seen as bad of a relationship as those two. Like
Right.
that, like so close together. As so bad that like the one of them they're charging them $500 to do a WordPress export of their own content and data, like their own information that's like was theirs. Like $500 to do like to offboard a client, like you charge them
Yeah.
your last chance of reviving a relationship. And then they were going to charge them, I think it was like $2,500 to export their analytic data
Yeah.
that was on us because they put them on a platform that was theirs,
Yeah.
a proprietary platform. It's like,
It was
that's horrible.
refreshingly refreshingly surprising to see that bad of a service, or what do you call it? Customer service or client success service. And I was like, how did you even keep any clients if you're this bad? And this was like, yeah, it was a very, very surprising. And then like the other one too, because I mean, I can see some animosity when they're switching the agency,
Yeah.
but not to anywhere near this type of degree.
No. I mean, we've had a couple, I guess two projects go into collections over the years, and that usually because they had financial issues on their end. Yet I still didn't like withhold anything. Like when it's ended, it's ended.
Yeah,
Like you get all your stuff. Like
yeah,
that's our model, and most of the people I know in this industry, that's
yeah,
their model too. Like
yeah,
if it's not going to work out for various reasons, and sometimes it's financial on their side, sometimes it's personalities don't mesh, whatever. Either way, like that offboarding is your last chance of just maintaining a decent relationship with a human being, and
yeah,
like to charge offboarding fees for those types of things that are a really simple to
yeah,
do, and should just be part of your SOP as far as the process. Like it's onboarding, maintaining the client relationship, and then offboarding is like for agencies like that, especially since they churn through them, probably
Yeah.
maybe that's part of their way of making money. I guess
Well,
like it
it's
would
like
be really sad if that's like they've kind of perfected that side of things of making money off of that side too. Like
it just doesn't make sense at all. I mean, like,
just
why
just
leave with a bad relationship like that?
yeah,
Because like you never know that you can
right.
potentially work together again in the future.
Hmm.
And also, why would you want to have that image?
I know.
But I guess
Yeah.
like that's why we don't have that issue because like, hey, if you move on, you move on. There might be other opportunities that will work together, but
Right.
it has to be easy for them. I mean, I'm sure they're already stressed out about switching the agency. Why add more pressure into it?
Yep.
But
Yep.
I think I mean we can probably add more, but three root causes of identify three ways bad engagement starts. I thought it was interesting to bring up.
I was
Yeah, so
looking
sometimes
through
it
through the
says it's
different
not
site.
always
Yeah.
the agency's fault, but some of the things that you know right away what bad engagement look like by just the starting point of it is a scope mismatch.
Yeah, I think this is I would think this is pretty common around even if you're like an agency is really good at onboarding clients, there's always there's always potential for miscommunication between the sales and signing of contracts and then like that initial kind of onboarding the product or project team, right? Like
Hmm.
there's always chances of it. Some places have it really locked in and locked down and it's exact, but if there's not a reset or not a or setup of like these are the expectations, um, this can go wrong really quickly, and it typically takes a while for you to find out that it's going wrong, unless there's that initial meeting where, hey, this is what we expect to do for you.
Hmm.
Like you should hear that from your agency. Like, yes, it's great that the salesperson sold you on one thing, but then the person started and like let them say it too. Like for us, we're small enough that typically it's going to be me telling them we're going to do this thing. And then it's either me doing it or you doing it.
Yeah.
And it's pretty obvious that, the owners of the company that told you we're going to do it and
Hmm.
then the owners of the company are doing it. The expectations are pretty clear, but
Yeah.
most
And
companies aren't that way.
yeah, and it's scope mismatch too. But like it's initially you want to sit down and understand your expectation is completely understood by them.
Yeah.
And we had this issue when we hired a marketing agency. We expressed our expectations. Turned out that they never understood it. They never escalated to different teams that they're actually working with us. And we later found out, I was like, what are you doing? This is not what we said at all.
Yeah.
So that's like a big sign. And you know from the start that when you don't have that type of meeting, or even if you had that meeting, you need to understand like you need to also double check that everyone who's working with you understands your expectation and the scope. The second thing was communication gap. I think this is everywhere. And like it's not just the agency relationship, but communication is always a big thing. That if you have a communication gap, that's something that you want to you want to fix or you want to address it right away.
Yeah, I think the note here is that and this is true in most things, but when there's no news, it's good news. Like if the client isn't escalating things, most agencies are built in a way that they're going to assume that it's totally fine, and we're just do the thing that we've been doing. So if you didn't have that initial scope matchup
Hmm.
and there was no communication that you're feeling like you're not getting your things, then the agency isn't going to try to deliver more than they know to do. So that's
Right.
kind of on both sides, right?
Hmm.
Uh, if the client isn't telling them right away, hey, why isn't this getting done? Then how can you expect the agency to know to do it?
I mean, good agencies will be proactively
And
reaching out to
asking.
see like how are we doing type of thing, which is their effort to
You know,
see the communication is working. But there's also a caveat that like whoever's reaching out might not be the one who's actually telling the people who are working on your team to
Yeah.
actually fix things correctly. So that needs to be matched. But there are good agencies that handle this very well. So the third one is wrong fit for the stage.
Yeah, I think this comes into account when it's really on the agency, because if it's not for the client to decide, like if you're selling yourself as being able to do everything, then you need to be able to do everything, right? And typically the agency is saying that they can do everything, full service type thing, right? And they don't. They
Yeah.
can't. They're free. They're using freelancers that are true freelancers, like they just posted on Upwork or whatever, and pulled someone in to do the one project, um, or their team is very junior,
Yeah.
and they're not used to doing large scale type projects.
Yeah. This is where, I mean, we do work with other agencies was like, because we are specifically for development only. So we see this example a lot because typically they messed it up because you run into this issue with like, oh, we can do it all. And then just pretty much built the site completely wrong or completely hacked ish. And patchwork over everything. It was just not done right. And we ended up coming in as fixing everything. We've done this a lot and we've seen this a lot. It's because you work with the agency who promised that we can do everything. It turned out that they only know one thing, but not all of it. So it's also like they might be thinking, like you might actually think, oh, it's cheaper to do it all with this one agency, but it's actually going to cost you more to hire the right agency to fix all those things. So you might want to be on the lookout for that. So that's early signs. But I think this is more helpful with red flags. So this is while you're working with a team.
Yeah, this is like you've been working with them for a while, and these are some of the things that you should actually be looking out for or asking.